Namaste, my friends. This is Gilles Chambray, meditation teacher. I've been a monk for 6 years in the forest tradition of Theravada with Ajahn Chah. And so today I would like to tell you a few things you need to know before being a monk in Thailand, especially in the forest tradition. And the first one is you need to have some experience with meditation. I would say you will need 2 years of experience in order to understand the teaching, be comfortable when you come to be alone in the temple, in your bungalow, in your guti, but also to have some benefit of the life of a monk. It will be also important for you to have some practice in order to understand the Pali words when you hear some teaching or some Dhamma talk. I would say that the understanding will be depending of your experience of meditation, of how deep you go in your meditation. Another thing is, you can be a man, you can be a woman, you can be married, you can have kids, you can have a job. To be a monk, you don't have to fill up a specific characteristic. So you may leave your house here, you leave your job for some time, go to Thailand and ordinate as a monk or as a nun if you are a woman. And so, in the Thai tradition, it's normal that any teenager, before going to work or before going to university, has to be a monk for 3 months in the Buddhist temple, because for them it's a part of life, it's a part of learning life. So for them in Thailand, the Buddhist temple is more important than what you learn at school. It is more profitable and it will stay within your heart for the lifetime. So for the Thai people, it's important that they spend time as a monk in the temple, but also it may happen that when they get old, when they get at the pension, retreat age, they also spend some time or they leave everything to be a monk because they have nothing else left. And before to die, they would like to have a peaceful mind and to be to reflect about what they did in their life. Another point that I want to speak about is it is extremely important that you get familiar with the Buddhist culture. It means that you must read books about the teacher that appeals to you. You need to read books about what monks do. You also need to read books about the sila, the rules of behavior, to get to know how monks must behave, what is the frame of thinking when you come to Thailand to be a monk. So it will help you to know how to handle the culture, because when you come to be a monk, the first year is not easy. And I would tell you, yes, it will take probably 1 year to adapt yourself to the culture, to understand the language, to understand the culture, to be familiar with the habits of the monk, to be familiar with the climate, with the food, with the people. To me, it takes time. I would say 6 months, but at the end it will take 1 year to start your practice as a monk. The first year, it's all about learning all those habits. And so you can come to Thailand and be a monk for few weeks, few months, but if you really want to learn something, to get deep into your practice, I would advise you to stay there for at least a year, 2 years, 3 years. Yes, 3 years would be great. Yes, to know the basic of a Buddhist life monk, that if you come to practice in the Theravada way, you will come to have 1 meal a day, and you don't have to worry too much about it. You come to get use of it by habit and by your practice. And speaking about food, mostly in Thailand, most of the temple eat meat. You will have few temples in Thailand when they will be vegetarian, but still it's up to you to follow what kind of diet you want to have. And another point is, as a monk, it's important to stay healthy. And so I would advise you to have few bases of yoga, because once you are a monk, you could have some yoga practice in your guti, in your bungalow for your own, because you will need to keep the body healthy, flexible. When you sit, sometimes you have to sit 6 hours on the floor to have some ceremonies, the prayers and the meditations, and to have some yoga practice will help you a lot to be comfortable with your body. Yes. But in my case, what I would say, most of the time I was spending my time meditating in caves, in forests, in jungles. From time to time, you can be in a temple and have some task to do, especially if it's a temple which needs to have some renovation. Then you may spend time to work, taking care of buildings, cutting some woods, cutting some stuff to take care of the temple. Sometimes you may spend your time to study the Palis, the teaching, but in my case, I spent those 6 years by practicing meditation. And if you've been thinking to become a monk, I would tell you go for it, because it would change your heart, it would change your life. Actually, it will be a space where you will have a transformation, because you will see the world in a totally different way. The tradition of Ajahn, the Theravada ways, is very traditional. So you let go of all the technology, the shopping, the modern life, and you stay in a very simple way. And you learn what is the life of contentment, the life of to be humble. And I tell you, it's a therapy in itself. Yes, it's a therapy in itself. You learn a lot. This experience as a monk, you will carry it no matter what, wherever you are. So after that, it's up to you to keep on the practice and to keep the teaching to your heart. But I would say when you start, you can never really forget it. Because for me, in many occasions, it's been a time when I was the happiest man on earth. I had some very beautiful moments when I was a monk, by the fact of my practice, by the fact of my interaction with the Thai people, by their generosity, by what you come to learn, by the beautiful places you come to see. It was fantastic, yes. And after that, either you are a man or a woman, you can be a monk, you can be a nun, a meshi as we call it for a woman. I would say in Thailand, the woman as a monk, as a meshi, is not recognized, but still it is accepted. So women can be a monk, can practice meditation, stay in a temple. There is some special condition for women for being in the temple. If you are thinking to be a monk or to be a nun, a meshi for some times or for a lifetime, everything is possible. You just need to relax, get informed. But for me, what was the most difficult as a monk was really to let go of the modern society. And the story that I want to tell you is 6 months after I ordinate as a monk, I still kept some clothes and some stuff that I had from Europe. And the day that I decided to throw away my suitcase with all what it contained, it was the day that I felt that I became a monk. And it was feeling great. And what I would say is, before to go to Thailand, we have a lot of fear. We have a lot of mysteries. And in one way, we cannot answer those mysteries, those fears. So you will need to be brave and go for your dream. If it's a dream, it was my case. And you will never regret. If you go there for the practice, for the teaching, for following the Buddha, you will never regret it. And being a monk is not about believing in a God, believing in a Buddha. It's all about practice. And the practice in the forest tradition in Thailand from the Theravada ways, it works. It is effective. And it's not concept or intellectualization or no. It's all about practice. Sometimes it may come that you don't understand the view of a practice or why you should behave like this, or why you should do it, because we've got these Westerners' beliefs in our mind. But once you start to let go of them and just apply some trust into the teaching, it's life transforming. So probably I have more to say, but I want to keep it short. Thank you for listening. Thank you for the time with me. Namaste. I love you. Peace.